Hi guys, so I did the MBTI and the free or the Big Five test on the same site. It was the Type Finder personality assessment. I really liked it because it really kind of in depth told me how my personality was. I'll go through because it says provide a thorough discussion, providing your thoughts on the results. So I think I agreed most with the Big Five personality test versus the other one, but I'll go through them and tell you what I think. So I got the ENTP. It says I'm an inspired innovator. It says I am motivated to find new solutions to problems, which I've always been like that. I'm a very math person. I'm puzzles and Lincoln Logs and Legos. My dad doesn't have a girl, and I'm a girl. He doesn't have a boy, and I did all that stuff. I wasn't a very Barbie type person. You're curious and clever. But I'll go right into this and kind of dig in. So the E was for extroversion. It says lively, energetic, quick-witted, and clever. I would say, yeah, I am. I am more extroverted than introverted, which is funny because they say opposites attract, and my boyfriend is very introverted. But it says that I am 46% introverted and 54% extroverted, which I would agree with because I am very quiet until you get to know me. I'm not like a class clown. I feel like I'm very easy to come up to and talk to. I'm that person that a lot of people come and talk to. So I had a few things I wanted to point out for this one. So it says I am 66% prominent versus private, which says I love being around other people in the center of attention. So the center of attention part, I think that I would disagree with in that sense. I love being around other people, but I hate when people are looking at me. I think it's just something that I feel like you're judging me when you're looking at me, and you're probably not, but that's what I've always thought. It's a very insecure part of myself. But I love being around other people, but I kind of hang around the people that I know. I'm not talking to everyone. So the second one was intuition. Your cognitive style, it says, is inventive, imaginative, entrepreneurial, and futuristic. I would say 100%, yeah. I love to paint. I was the editor-in-chief of my yearbook class in high school. I am on a committee or a board at church that creates new ideas, and I'm the spokesperson for the young adults, and I help think of ways to make the church better and really help get the young adults involved. Things I want to talk about was I am 92% intuition and 8% sensing. So primarily possibilities. I tend to look at the big picture, and I'm not someone who just does things. I'm like, okay, if we do this, what's happening next? But I would agree with that. The third one was thinking. Well, look at that. Sorry, I just have to keep scrolling up and down to show you what I'm doing. So it says I am 65% thinking and 35% feeling. Which I agree with, but I don't agree with at the same time. A very sensitive person, I would say. There were things I wanted to talk about. So compassionate, I'm 58%. I identify with the feelings of others and are sympathetic when people are suffering. And I would 100% agree with that. I think my family and my friends would agree with that as well. So this is something that I actually got on both tests, and I don't know if I answered the question wrong, if I didn't understand the questions that they were asking about this. But it says I am a 92% challenging person. It says I enjoy a good debate so much that even when you agree with someone, they'll often play devil's advocate just to stimulate the discussion. So here's where I would disagree and agree. I think my parents and my boyfriend would agree. I think that a lot of boyfriends would agree with it, that their girlfriends are challenging. And a lot of parents. I'm a teenage girl. I think my parents would agree with that as well. But I have a very hard time with authority. And when I say that, I mean that even when they like me or anything, they say anything, I'm like, okay, like, you're my boss, you're my teacher, just anything. I was always taught to respect authority. When I disagree, I go and tell my friends, or, when you sit in the car and you have those conversations with yourself about how much you disagree. I think I do that a lot. I don't share my feelings about political things or emotional things on social media. I don't get in fights on social media about political things. I get in fights with myself in the car about how frustrated that made me, but I never say that to them. I guess is what I would disagree with. I don't like arguing with people, especially authority. I don't do that. Maybe I should if I really disagree, but I don't. So the individualist and helpful, I was actually 50-50. It says that I tend to have an every man for himself philosophy. And I dislike having helpless people depend on me, which I would disagree with. I guess it's 50-50. I mean, I am helpful and I care for others who are less fortunate and less capable, which I do, but I think the every man for himself part would be, my parents grew up with literally nothing. My mom was the youngest of 7 kids. My grandparents had my dad at 17 years old, and they both, food stamps. They came from nothing. They had a really hard time growing up, and they've worked so hard to get where they are, and they're very successful, and they have a name for themselves. And I think that is where I get the you can do anything no matter where you come from aspect. The tough and tolerant, it says I'm 72% tough. My motto for relationships could be fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. You might forgive, but you never forget. I think that's every girl. We never forget. I do forgive very easily, but I think I would have to disagree with that. I think maybe I'm a little bit of a pushover. I don't want to say it, but I think I am. Okay, so this is the thing I most disagree with. The whole thing. I don't know what I did for them to think that, but it was perceiving. So that was the last part of the MBTI test. It says perceivers follow the whims of the moment, make up rules as they go, go with the flow and enjoy surprises. And then judgers prefer to create a plan and stick to it, which I think I answered all these questions right. Set goals and maintain focus, adhere to a schedule, which I have a literal book that the planner, I love my planner. Set clear expectations. I have a lot of expectations for people, especially my friends and who I have relationships with. How do I say this? I am open to hearing people's opinions, and I like to think about how they perceive it. And I think that I'm a little less conservative in my views than my family. But expectations, I think that for my friends and for who I'm in a relationship, I set so many high expectations, and I am only 29% judging and 71% perceiving. And I don't know how I answer these questions, but I'm 77% relaxed versus orderly, 87% spontaneous versus scheduled, 74% casual versus conscientious, 71% impulsive versus disciplined. And then this one kind of contradicts that one and says I'm 74% ambitious versus easygoing, which I think that why would I be like less disciplined but I'm not easygoing? Or 71% impulsive but I'm not easygoing. I don't know. I think that I would definitely have to disagree with all those things. Compared to my father and my sister who have OCD and all these things, I would 100% agree with all these things compared to them. But I think if you ask my friends, they'd be like, oh no, I am the mom of the group. I am like, we're in a group together and I'm like, okay, we can have fun, but like there's a man staring at us. Does anyone else see that? Like I am the total mom. I'm holding up your hair. I'm the responsible one in the group. But let's look at the big 5 personality test, which I would really have to agree with. So my openness was 48%. This spells out ocean. 48% was my lowest score. So it says higher scores tend to be more creative, adventurous, and intellectual. Lower scores tend to be practical, conventional, and focused on the concrete, which I would agree. I guess I have more of a lower score if you think that above 50% is a higher. I'm creative, I would have to say, but I definitely, that's one thing that I can say that I am, but I'm definitely more focused on like future and everything like that. It says high and openness tend to enjoy the arts and seek out unusual, complex forms of self-expression, which I don't think that I tend to enjoy art. So C was conscientious, 56%. The ability to exercise self-discipline and control. Higher scores are more organized and determined, which I would definitely agree. I'm very organized in certain things. My room, not so much, but in school, work, any other aspect, I would say, that I'm organized. Lower scores are impulsive and easily sidetracked, which I'm not a lower score, but it's funny because my other test says I am 71% impulsive, which is what I disagreed with. So extroversion, E, I got 58%, which I think is almost exactly what I got on the other test. I got 54%. So I would 100% agree with that. Yeah. I don't seek the attention from others that I explained, but I'm very easy to talk to. So agreeableness is 81%. That's my highest score. It says agreeableness describes a person's tendency to put others' needs before their own and to cooperate rather than compete with others. People who are high in agreeableness experience a great deal of empathy and tend to get pleasure of serving and taking care of others. In the last test, it said that I was really low on agreeableness. If I can find that. It says I'm 8% agreeable and 92% challenging. And this one says I am 81% agreeableness. I think that, like I said, I'm the mom of the group, and I think my family and my boyfriend especially would definitely agree. I always put needs of others before my own. That is something that I like, but something that I don't like as well. Because I think that my family has commented to me many times that I would do more for my friends than my friends would do for me. And I don't know why. I took the love language test, and I am a giver. I love giving gifts. I don't care when other people don't give me gifts. That's how I share my love. That's how my mom is. Yeah. So then I am 62.5% neuroticism. I don't think I said that right, but it says that I experience negative emotions, including fear, sadness, anxiety, guilt, and shame. I think my dad has a lot to do with this. His job or his profession really has him see the worst in situations. Like, you can go there, but make sure you're looking out for this and this and this and this and this and this could happen. And I think my friends are all like, yeah, we know, because I tend to do that to them. I tend to be the person who, if there's someone looking at us, I'm like staring them down. It's like, I know you're looking at us, like, get away. I am always called the mom, like I've said like 5 times. And then I tend to have this fear that if my life is going good, that something bad is going to happen. And I hate that about myself, but I would definitely agree with that. So yeah, there were my tests. There's a lot of things I agree with and a lot of things that I disagree with, but that is what it says. I kind of thought it was funny about the contradicting things with these tests, like with the agreeableness, in the challenging, and the and the conscientious stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. Thank you.